This person calls himself Bonnie, a transsexual with 4 degrees. I'm sorry, but traditional marriage in the 1950s was just a game of chicken to see if the wife would poison the husband before he sends her to get a lobotomy. And honestly, extreme kinks like that just aren't for me. So people talk about this quite a bit, and we try and solve this issue on this program as best we can. That's why a big part of what we do is providing references. I get it. There's always going to be echo chambers. People are going to gravitate toward the kind of content that they find, congruent with their point of view. I would argue, however, that the left is far worse at this. And let me make a case really quickly before we get to Bluesky, this sort of lefty alternative to X, formerly Twitter. If you look at Rumble, you look at X now, really, liberals are allowed. They may not go there. Liberals are allowed there. You are not seeing liberals. You are not seeing leftists removed in massive numbers. They really are just platforms that are gravitating toward open speech, freedom of speech, and so you see a higher percentage of conservatives. When leftists create platforms, there are no conservatives. They are proactively removed. And so what you really see with these platforms, or really publishers, I should say at this point, what you see playing out is what people at YouTube and Google want to do, what their content guidelines were designed to do. Yeah. You're seeing them play out. You're seeing less conversation, and you are seeing it descend into a circus of madness. So the newest one, or at least the one that people are paying attention to now, is Bluesky as an alternative to X. Just listen to this report from the Demon Tate brother.
What hasn't been around for a long time is Bluesky, the social media platform which is gaining users in recent weeks as an alternative to X. On Thursday,
it's a butterfly, not a bird.
Reported more than 1 million users had signed up in a single day. The platform CEO says the site is growing by 10,000 users every 10 to 15 minutes and has more than 18 million users right now.
It really feels reminiscent of the former era of Twitter when it wasn't owned by Elon Musk.
Aliens are real.
Who changed the name of the platform to X. It looks and functions a lot like Twitter, but it doesn't have, maybe Elon puts a little bit of his thumb on the scale, it seems like sometime, on what you see on X. And Bluesky feels much more open and has a really exciting energy right now.
Very open, as long as you're using the PrEP pill. Now, it was created or developed, I should say, by Jack Dorsey in 2019. Remember Dorsey was CEO of Twitter, then left, then came back, and then left. And he just always torches everything behind him and burns all the bridges and then says, this place sucks. So he then left Bluesky in May. And the new CEO is Jay Graber, who went on CNN just last night to boast about the success of the site.
But the tone and the environment and the community that you seek to create through Bluesky, is it intentionally distinct from, say, an X?
Well, our goal is to give users an experience where they can have fun and feel safe. And so we've already always focused a lot on trust and safety, making sure that users have an ability to have an experience that's free from bots and harassment and spam. And then that's, I think, really core to the experience. But then beyond that, we want a place where people can express their creativity. And so they can come on and, explore a app store, basically, of all these feeds. It's like a marketplace of feeds. And then you can subscribe to the ones that you're interested in, sort of like subscribing to magazines. And so people who like cat pictures are just looking at the cat feed. So it just lets people get really creative and discover their communities and find the places that they want to be within Bluesky.
You've just described how to make a society dumber.
Yeah, I don't think she understands what creativity is.
You realize that? Just subscribe to the feeds like a magazine. Okay, pick a dead medium, and you can just look at cat pictures. Okay, so pick a trend from the early aughts. All right, so you want people to be dumber. You want dialogue to regress. Now, what she says there is safe. That's a key word. Harassment. Everyone wants to do away with bots and spam. No one's done more for that on X than Elon Musk. It's not perfect. The words there are harassment and safety. We will see their policy and what kind of an environment it leads to. So their content policy, pretty generic with language about, hate, abuse, all that kind of stuff that you see everywhere, all the gay stuff. But here's the thing. In practice, what you see is one user was immediately banned for posting, hello, new platform, litmus test, the COVID vaccine didn't work, the 2020 election was stolen, there are 2 genders, trans women are men, trans men are women. The perspective, most of those statements that would be in line with the vast majority of Americans. As far as 2 genders,
that's hilarious. As
far as biological men being a thing, as far as at least a certain percentage, a high percentage of Americans who believe the COVID vaccine was largely ineffective. Also the science. So That person was banned.
Well, probably because litmus tests are banned. It's not the other things.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you guys are getting confused.
And what needs to be contrasted is what's banned, what's impermissible when the left has control versus what is permitted. What kind of environment does it create? So when the left talks about a toxic environment from the right and they want to actively ban Rumble, not just ban people like us from YouTube, but then ban Rumble from even existing, entire governments, right? Progressive governments. Let's compare the two, the kind of environment that you see when the left actually has what it is that they want unfettered. The site, to give you an idea, the top 10 users, AOC, New York Times, The Onion, Mark Hamill, Mark Cuban, Washington Post, George Takei, Midas Touch, for some reason. So,
the marketing agency.
yeah, let's look at some of the posts that you can find on Bluesky. So you can't say 2020 election was not the most free and fair. You can't say COVID vaccine was ineffective. You cannot say that there are only two genders. But here's what you will find. These are the kinds of posts that gain popularity on Bluesky. This is a user, Jen Rubin. She's a Washington Post columnist, MSNBC contributor. Democracy defender.
Oh, she's a veteran.
Yeah, well,
Very cool. That's what veterans do.
So she posted this video on Bluesky about RFK killing Americans.
This is a disaster. Make polio great again? Is that what the United States is going to be all about? Are we going to
Make it better.
The availability of not only abortion medication, not only vaccines, but any kind of medication this crackpot thinks is undesirable? It's an outrage. And innocent
Like
people,
ivermectin?
maybe some people who voted for this guy, are going to die.
So let's compare that directly. Just, okay, what RFK has, just what we know thus far, has suggested. For example, we talked about this yesterday with clinical trials for the hepatitis vaccine being administered to infants. That's offering people information and choice. She wants him to not be able to speak. And what they always do, and that's why that word safety is key in harassment. It's under the guise of safety. It's unsafe. He's putting people in danger. Well, you know what I think put people in danger? Forcing people to lock down in their homes, children not be allowed to attend school, and businesses to be forever shuttered, destroying the livelihoods of America. I think that was dangerous. Right?
How about putting COVID patients in nursing homes? Maybe that was a little bit of a dangerous policy that
Or
we should
hotels.
implemented.
But in their perspective, it's no, this is good, this is bad. This is why they don't have a dialogue. You can't have the dialogue on a place like Bluesky. You can do it in the Rumble comment section underneath this very stream. You're free to do so. You may find a disproportionate number of conservatives, but that's because they gravitate toward free speech platforms. You can say whatever you want, provided it's not actually a crime, illegal. Let's go to another user here in Bluesky. This person calls himself Bonnie, a transsexual with 4 degrees.
Pigeon fan?
What was that? Can you bring it up?
Number 1 pigeon fan.
Oh, yeah.
You might have balls, Your Honor.
Everything about this is unhealthy. This person posted this take on marriage. I'm sorry, but traditional marriage in the 1950s was just a game of chicken to see if the wife would poison the husband before he sends her to get a lobotomy. And honestly, extreme kinks like that just aren't for me. So first off, they think this is funny. Second, these are the relationship dynamics that the left, do you see the left, what they do is they destroy the male-female dynamics, where it's not about romance, that dance of hard to get, cat and mouse, right? Making sure that you dress up, you pursue one, things that women like, things that men like doing. It's all some struggle for power, where a man wants to abuse a wife and she wants to kill her man. I don't know if they realize this. That's actually not most relationships, but it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because of the left spearheading culture. Everything is about control. Everything is about abuse. Same thing, you can even just take it to rape. They do the same thing, right? Well, if a woman is inebriated, then it's rape. Well, what if he's inebriated? What if he's had a couple of drinks? What if both of you have had a couple of drinks? What happened to drunken screwing with a married couple? Oh, everything has to be an imbalance of power and abuse of authority. It doesn't seem as pernicious as but it is. Let me go to another user here. Sage, who identifies themselves as a trans NB woman into tech.
I'm sorry, what?
I didn't know. I forgot what it was. It means non-binary. It's another word.
NB means non-binary?
NB.
So it's an uncolored colored person.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
That's what it's like. It's a total.
And they want us to just go along with it. It wants us to go like, oh,
Totally
yeah, sure,
normal.
yeah, NB. No, you made it up. You made it up, and I don't respect it.
She works for Jaguar now, so that's okay.
Yes, exactly. And people go, oh, no, this is just the radical. This is just the radical wing. Really? The Prime Minister of Canada unironically used two-spirited.
Yes.
By the way, so did Tim Walz. It's not some radical fringe. That's the vice presidential candidate of the Democratic platform. That's the Prime Minister of the country of Canada. They use these terms. Today's NB is tomorrow's two-spirited, which heads of state will use. Do not let them get away from this. This is the post from this person, this NB person. Again, the kind of stuff you see on Bluesky when they get an echo chamber on trans kids. Attacking life-saving health care for children in hope of temporary personal comfort is abominable. There is a ring of hell reserved for any quislings willing to feed children to the fascist wolves at our doors. Protect trans kids. This is what they do with language. And again, the language where you're just, even if you can you comment if you see this, if you're a liberal, even if you disagree with the litmus test that was banned from Bluesky, the 2020 election was stolen, or there are only two genders. Can you at least acknowledge that that is honest? It is proactively honest. It is making an affirmative statement that they are willing to defend. That's the kind of language that is used from the right. Hopefully, they continue to use that language. Protect trans kids. What that actually means is allow the government to take children from their parents to transition them surgically or hormonally.
Yeah.
That's what protect trans kids. When they say fascist wolves at the doors, what they mean is the parents on the inside of the doors saying, no, the government can't come into my house and take my 8-year-old child away because they're confused. So to them, the fascists at the doors are the parents protecting their children in their own house.
Yeah.
And they are protecting trans kids by basically abducting them from a private residence to surgically alter their life forever. This is the kind of language. And so that doesn't get banned.
It's good to see that this person also believes in hell.
Yes.
Apparently in their text, I think they might be acquainted with it if things don't turn around.
Well, you best start believing in hell, NB. You'll be in one. Now, here is something else, too, that you see. And again, doesn't exist in a vacuum. Contextually, it's a lot worse than with other sites. They have been inundated with complaints for child sexual abuse material.
Well, it includes that, but there's other complaints too. But really, liberals complaining? Oh no, I would never see that coming.
Yeah, now it's just falling apart. It's become a circular firing squad.
I say, just let it happen.
Let it happen. So this is actually from, I believe, Bluesky. It says we're receiving about 3,000 reports an hour. To put that in context, in all of 2023, we received 360,000 reports. We're triaging this large queue so the most harmful content, such as child sexual abuse material, is removed quickly. Now, if only the CIA would do the same thing. And this is the same thing when you see child sexual abuse material. Again, all references available at louderwithcrowder.com, link in the description. You saw this with other leftist alternatives like Mastodon. It's been a consistent problem.
Wow.
Now, do we have the numbers of every platform where we can definitively say that they are higher here than everywhere else? No, but let me ask you, do you think it's more likely that the political echo chamber, which even allows for the possibility of minor attracted persons being accepted into their ranks, is it really that much of a logical leap to say, yeah, they might have a bigger problem with pedophile pornography? You can comment if you think, logically you have to make an inference here because we don't have all of the statistics available. We just have theirs.
Right.
And also worth noting is that a post on Bluesky is unofficially called a skeet.
What?
Or skeeting. Don't Google it.
No, first off, Lil Jon will have something to say about that.
Yes.
Second off, it's ironic to me that they created a platform called Bluesky for them to cordon themselves off from the rest of society so they could only hear their viewpoints and smell each other's farts.
Yes. I didn't know that it was a scratch and sniff site, but okay.
Yeah, that's what the butterfly is. It's the tramp stamp tattoo on the internet.
That's nice.
So I guess it's a blend of Sky and Tweet, but they turned it to Skeet.
It's stupid. The entire thing is stupid. So after we talk about it today, I hope what happens is that it is never mentioned again, that nobody cares about this site. But here's a point that I want to bring up that CNN brought up. And guys, please bring in that overlay if you can, if there's a screenshot of it, where basically they were showing like before Elon Musk bought X and after, or I think some other comparison maybe from 2022. It's basically even now as far as ideology, right? So if you're a conservative or a liberal, it's liberals, I think, is 48, conservative 47% of people identify there based on the polls. It's gotten more equal. Mm-hmm. That's what liberals are fleeing. That's what they're saying is too filled with right-wingers. I can't believe that I see this stuff. Yeah. You don't want to see any. You want to go to your liberal ghetto and just sit there and talk about what you want the world to be and not have anybody critically assess your thoughts and challenge you. Or you have the ability to challenge them. You have the ability to change minds by being on X.
Well, you want to see any conservative people? Good luck calling the police.
Yeah.
Or the fire department when your house is on fire, you're having a heart attack. Good luck.
They're running away. They don't like their ideas. They want to go to a safe space where everybody agrees with them and nobody's going to challenge.
Well, here's the thing. So you look at these platforms, and it's not just conservatives. You see gamers. You see people who just, see athletes. You see sporting events. When the left gets what they want, this is what they wanted for YouTube. This is what the government was asking Facebook and Meta to do by Mark Zuckerberg's own admission. YouTube, if they had their way, if they weren't just having to kind of fake like they're skirting the law in Section 230, YouTube would be Bluesky. Google already is Bluesky.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. Facebook would be Bluesky. If the left had their, it's not what do they do right now with the powers they have. What would they do if their powers were unfettered? Go check out Bluesky. Tell me what you think of it, because that's what your future would look like.
Yeah. Another thing to keep in mind, too, so Rumble is about, they've done a study on this, is about a third, right? So liberal, conservative, independent, it's about thirds. Everybody thinks Rumble is just like this place where conservatives ran to. Nope. It's where free speech ran. And free speech, there's a lot of people that actually believe in free speech in the independent category, right? Obviously, and some liberals going to do it as well. But then bring up the overlay that I sent you on this. This is what they ran from, guys. In 2022, 65%. This is party ID among those who regularly use X for news. 65% Dem, 31% GOP. Now, 48-47. That's what they're running from. They do not want a platform. They don't want a company. They don't want anybody successful who does not toe the line for them completely. Look at Musk with X, or not with X, but with Tesla. Right? Yep. We've made that point a million times. He was the darling. Twitter was the darling of the left. They loved Twitter.
Of course they loved it.
Right? Yeah. Until it became a level playing field.
Yep. Hey, if you like this video, you want to see more, you can hit the notification bell to know when more videos are up, or just watch weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. We live stream. It's actually live, where we interact with you. And we are so happy to be here with you, because it's a known fact that content creators online are the happiest among us.